Katie.
I'm John Michael.
And we are coming up on Space Between, our first sailboat that just arrived in Annapolis this week. It's freezing cold in December. It's about 40 degrees out. So
we're here to meet Ken Krasko from Atlantic Cruising Yachts, who we bought it from and who's finishing the commissioning for us here.
Along with Chris and Rudy Vereen, don't forget.
Of course.
Take a look. Now here's where I switched to one of those cheesy voiceovers due to the sound of construction work in the background and my mad skills at hitting the video mic off of boat parts. This is my first time shooting a YouTube video, so be patient and take a Dramamine. There you can see Rob fitting the bimini for its isinglass surround. We included most of the Saba options, plus some custom ideas due to our plan to live aboard and John Michael's enthusiasm for technology and things with motors. Now we've already walked through with Ken from ACY marking with yellow tape any changes that are going to occur, such as his transom step lights and this here Magma Monterey 2 grill, which will be plumbed once the system is changed from butane to propane. And if you'll follow me over this way, this is our Lumar winch and Harken block place for our Code Zero and Parasailer, with a huge thanks to Sailing Totem for all the recommendations. This synthetic teak we had placed throughout is also noticeably better than the cork option. Our AB inflatable Lumina 12 ALX tender with 24 horsepower fuel-injected Yamaha is nearing its 3-month completion date. These davits will be swapped out for aluminum davits and integrated with a hydraulic lift and kayak mount. This electric tender winch will be replaced with a Silent Wind brand generator producing 420 watts. And over here, a duck freezing its tail feathers off. We also had sweet underwater lighting placed with accessibility from the transom hull interior and 2 fishing rod holders, even though I've only been fishing once, which was a traumatic experience for me and the fish, seeing as how I had to cut through his throat with a dull fillet knife. Under these 2 aft bench seats are 2 more storage spaces and the manual bilge pump. They're currently packed with bottles of water left over from its 6-week transatlantic delivery from Fountaine Pajot in La Rochelle, France. That zip-tied sign says hull number 78. In the storage bench, ACY will install a Bauer Junior 2 dive compressor. It'll be real helpful for filling any tanks if we ever learn how to scuba dive, as well as filling inflatables and blowing any unwanted kids off our boat. This yellow tape marks another courtesy light, and the new Vitrifrigo refrigerator is already noticeably better than the previous models, which seem to come from the factory with their handles already broken off. You can fit an entire case of vodka in here, or spicy drink as my son calls it, along with a small freezer for more spicy drinks. The Fusion speaker is one of 2 in this cockpit, with 2 more at the brow of the foredeck, and for just under $2,000, the factory provides this Zodiac Open Sea Life Raft for free. Now, join me over here at the table where we did not option the extension, but there's still plenty of room for water jugs and these reassuringly included rigging wire cutters. This whole hot mess up on the table is the electrical shit show involved when installing 5 AC units and converting the entire boat to 110 volt from the factory 220 volt European standard. Behind locker number 5 is the butane system, which is being converted to propane. We'll maintain an adapter in the event that we need to fill butane in the future though. Over this way is going to be installed our Raritan ice maker, which will provide John Michael and any drifters we pass in the middle of the ocean with refreshing ice. The starboard transom will also have a hot freshwater shower hose for both John Michael and aforementioned drifters. The entire cockpit's going to be enclosed with Texaline for shade as well. This blue bag over here is our Incident Sails Genoa. It's been removed after its arrival from France for winterization. Let's sneak a quick peek at the booty on this one since no one's looking. Ooh, damn. And now onto the engine bay, which contains our upgraded 75 horsepower Volvo Penta D2 engines with a luxurious stainless steel step plate, which adds 4 sharp corners to a tight space. This will drive both Brunton auto props, which will be installed during a pullout at a branch of ACY in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is our first destination after we flee the Northeast winter when commissioning is complete. And here are 5 house AGM batteries with 2 additional optioned. This will be wired to a Victron Color GX monitoring system for the solar power, wind power, inverter, and power usage. This blue beauty over here is a 2000 watt inverter, and its two side pieces are solar charge converters from the 5 panels generating 825 watts. The adjacent white boxes are 2 fresh water pumps for redundancy. The two 12-volt starter batteries for the engines and Cummins Onan 13.5 kilowatt genset are in the starboard bay, and a heat-triggered fire suppression system will be installed in each bay, as well as upgraded Raycor fuel filters. With all this space around the engine, you're definitely going to want to spend a lot more time in here. Here you see the expensive handle for climbing out of the engine bay, which I guess could also be used for a Code Zero repair cellar sheet. There are multiple folding pad eyes along the hull lip for sheets or jack lines. The factory also installed 3 solar panels, which were swapped out by Uchimata in France for 5 flat, high-output solar panels. These stainless steel handrails along the coach roof will also be extended forward the full length of the roof. Oh, and here's a quick slice of the majestic Chesapeake. Next up, these big metal thingies, which Fountaine Pajot throws in at no extra cost. The mast is already fitted with its Ray Marine Quantum Chirp radar. There will also be Caprara port and starboard docking lights added to the spreaders, and likely a digital TV antenna. The mainsail has an auto hook, and the first and second auto reef are going to be added by ACY. The third reef is manual, making it tragically entertaining. Within the port hull will be a depth finder, and the starboard hull will also have a fish finder which shows depth and seafloor contour. These pulpit seats, as well as the anchor locker lid and the cockpit table, will all be finished with a matte varnish. The trampoline will be fitted with a textiline overlay, which we may end up swapping out for a fine knit mesh trampoline. Seen here is the Profurl Genoa furler, and the bowsprit is eagerly awaiting mounting of a Harken reflex furler. There's another Harken block over here. And check out those shredded cleats too, which should be good for tearing down docks when we forget to untie. And yes, I'll answer your question now that we plan to leave our Code Zero on the furler permanently so it can slowly degrade in the harsh elements. This front area has cushioned sun beds as well, and the flooring around this drain will have flexi-teak placed. This black circle is access pumped to the old pooper tank, and this black circle thingy over here is where you fill up the water tank. There's 2 separate lockers up front here, one for the anchor rod chain, as well as the wooden lid for access to the anchor itself. The downside is that the wooden lid does not have a pneumatic piston as the white fiberglass locker does, so it either slams closed or you must gently place the heavy wooden lid open as seen. Here's those 185-gallon blue freshwater tanks and a fresh and saltwater rinse-off hose for the anchor and rod in here. The factory anchor chain was swapped out for 100 meters of the sexiest 10mm stainless steel rod you've ever seen in your life. The windlass will have a wireless control and chain counter at the helm station, and you can see that there's plenty of room for fenders and dock lines in this locker. And this beauty here is an 85-pound stainless steel Mantis anchor. Okay, let's just take a minute to catch our breath after that one. We're planning on having polarized film applied to all of the salon windows, and we're hoping that it'll hold up for some period of time. There will also be that discotheque blue courtesy lighting under the coach roof that says, "This party goes all night," or at least until we pass out and forget the light's still on. And cue the furling sheet close up. Nailed it. Here's 2 more Blackwater pump outs, so the answer to any guests aboard is no. The poo doesn't just disappear into thin air like you're used to at home on land. On to the helm station. The Raymarine 2 package includes EV400 autopilot, depth, speed, and wind data on 2 i70S displays, a VHF radio, and this ES128 12-inch display with Navionics charts. We added 3 i70 displays and wedges to angle all the screens for easier viewing, creating a more realistic Star Trek command center look. Below the Raymarines is the windlass chain counter and controller. We're swapping out this mechanical factory throttle with an electronic Glendinning EBC throttle control. Sending units will be installed to digitize engine data such as oil pressure, temperature, and RPM, sending this info to the Raymarine CTOC network, which displays on any chart plotter, i70, or smart device. An AIS 650 receiver transceiver was also installed. Continuing the electronics rant, N2K sensors will be placed to digitize fuel and water tank levels as well as barometric and air data. This tape here marks the placement of a knee switch for the electric winch. We'll also probably swap out all the running rigging for smaller and stronger Dyneema sheets. Of note, if you have a Fountaine Pajot, make sure that you have a lead or clutch with a sheet stopper knot to prevent the Jeep sheets from getting lost under the sun deck, which is a huge pain in the Anyways, that was a lot of information, and I haven't even started on the interior or navigation station yet.
Thanks so much for watching our first YouTube video. We understand it's a little bit dry, but there was a lot of information we wanted to get into it that we could not find when we were originally ordering our Saba 50, so hopefully you learned a lot. And I'm currently putting together the video of the interior, as well as progress that's been made over the past week of commissioning as it sits in Annapolis Harbor freezing. So stay tuned and we'll get that up soon. Thanks for watching. Oh.